One, two.
Hey guys, I thought I'd make this very quick tutorial to show you how I made this portal effect in AR Studio. It's pretty straightforward once you know how to do it, and you can create some really cool stuff with it, so hope this helps you guys. So the first thing you want to do is just turn this guide off because we're not going to use this for this effect. And then insert a plane tracker into your scene. With that selected, go over to the target drop down. And this image is what's going to be picked up in AR Studio, and it's going to be what's tracked with your scene on top of that. So let's just test this. Let's add a plane and make that plane a child of the tracker. And that is really important, otherwise it's not going to track to the image. Let's just change those values back to 0 and let's hit mirror. And hopefully we've got a plane that is already being tracked. Cool, let's start making these layers. So basically all this is it's a series of about 4 or 5 layers going back in Z space. So the next thing we'll do is make the background, and then we'll just do these other layers after that. So since we have this plane already, let's rename it something like background. And let's scale it up. Whoops. Hit R and shift drag, and let's make it exactly the same size as our target. And let's make a new material. Let's also call this material background. And let's texture it with the same image as the target. So now what we should have is an image overlay that is tracked to the album art. Now if we put this back in Z space to about -40, and what we're doing here is trying to visualize the effect before we start to animate anything, and we can just see how these layers are going to look. So let's add the middle layers. Let's call this layer 1. Duplicate layer 2 and layer 3, and let's give these all right. So that is already getting pretty close to what we're trying to do. You can see they're layered. Now we want to create that tunnel vision, so I just created this image with a hole in it. It's that simple. And let's just add this. Let's call this layers. Let's add a new material, call it layers. And then let's just add that texture to the material and assign it to these 3 layers. What we can do is just remove this image texture so you can start to see in the viewport. Just gotta make sure it goes back, otherwise nothing's gonna work. Cool, we're almost there. The last thing we want to do is occlude, so it looks like it's a portal through the plane. So let's add an occluder, and it's pretty straightforward. Let's add a plane. Let's make that a child of the plane tracker. Get rid of these random values. let's make this huge, like 100. Let's make this much, much bigger. What we want to do is make a new material. Let's call this layer, let's be super organized. Let's call this layer occluder. And let's add a new material. And we will call it occluder. And the easiest way I've found to do this is to simply create an image very like the one we created before with a hole in, and just, you have to add a lot of white space around it, but just add a little shape in the middle, and that's going to be where you will see through. So let's add that texture. Kind of see how that's just placed itself. Scale it up a bit. Like that, and then in the material settings, we'll just take that down to 1%. And let's just remove the image target. So we can see that, and that has already nicely occluded and created this tunnel through our marker. So let's just put that back. Let's check that out. All right. And that is the basic effect.